This is Nightline. Tonight, exclusive details in the explosive rape allegations against music moguls Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs.
I got 99 problems, but a ain't one. I got
the lawyer for 99 Problems rapper Jay-Z speaking only to ABC News about newly released audio of the accuser.
It is effectively a lie. She was pushed to involve him by a lawyer.
Who filed, then dropped a lawsuit claiming to have been raped by the pair when she was just 13.
He was there.
He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly, yeah.
Jay-Z's attorney saying her words prove his client wasn't involved, even as she maintains her claim.
The lawsuit brought by the Jane Doe was dismissed with prejudice. That means the case cannot be brought back in any way, shape, or form.
How Jay-Z is responding now. Plus,
and one more time,
Dylan Mulvaney.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right?
The trans social media star surviving the spotlight and the controversy for what she calls Feargate.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Now in her own words.
Day one of being a girl, and I have already cried 3 times.
Opening up about how she weathered the storm and how it changed her.
Now I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
And why are all these penguins taking the plunge? It's just one of their many secrets. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, ABC's exclusive interview with Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, defending his client from horrifying accusations that he and Sean Diddy Combs drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl in 2000, pointing to a new audio recording of the alleged victim herself, which he says exonerates Jay-Z, even as the victim stands by her claim. Here's ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky.
I got 99 problems, but a ain't one.
He's one of the world's best-selling rappers with hits like 99 Problems
Got 99 problems, but a ain't one.
and Crazy in Love, a collaboration with his now wife, Beyonce.
Young Hov, y'all know when the flow is loco. Young B and the ROC.
He's a 25-time Grammy winner.
So thank you for this.
And in 2021, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Trying to make me cry in front of all these white people.
But last December, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, became embroiled in the ongoing legal saga of Sean Diddy Combs. Jay-Z was accused of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl alongside Diddy, allegedly at an after-party following the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. The accuser, who is now 36 and referred to as Jane Doe, sued the music mogul for unspecified damages.
Bombshell allegations against Jay-Z. A civil lawsuit now accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of raping a 13-year-old girl.
But just last month, Jane Doe suddenly withdrew the allegations against Jay-Z and Sean Combs and dropped her lawsuit.
The lawsuit brought by the Jane Doe was dismissed with prejudice, which is very important to note because that means the case cannot be brought back in any way, shape, or form.
In a statement, Jay-Z wrote in part, "Today is a victory. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. The trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed." Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's attorney.
He vehemently denied the allegations at the outset. He spoke about the painful impact that they had, especially on his kids. How, as a father, has he tried to handle this?
It's tough to hear a false lie said about you, spread through the internet, and affecting your children. It's tough on him. It's tough on anybody. But what he does is he proves himself innocent.
ABC News exclusively obtained a minute-long excerpt of a recording of a conversation that private investigators hired by Jay-Z's legal team say they had with Jane Doe. In it, she is heard agreeing that Jay-Z did not assault her.
But Jay-Z you're saying he was definitely there? But he had no part in it, or he was just...
He was there.
He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly, yeah.
The woman is also heard saying her lawyer put her up to suing one of the world's most recognizable stars.
He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him.
With Jay-Z? Busby did?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No.
The people around Mr. Carter wanted to know what happened behind closed doors. And so they asked for her to be interviewed. The interview occurred, and the tape speaks for itself. She says in no uncertain terms, Mr. Carter did not do this. It is effectively a lie. And the only reason Mr. Carter is even involved in this is because she was pushed to involve him, pushed to include him by a lawyer.
The accuser's lawyer, Tony Busby, called it a blatant lie that he pushed Jane Doe to sue Jay-Z. And he sent us this recording of a phone call he says he had with his client.
They say that they have you on tape denying that Jay-Z assaulted you. Is that true?
No. I don't. I've never said that.
Okay. They also say that you told them, and they have it on tape, that I, Tony Busby, told you to came up with this plan and told you to say that Jay-Z assaulted you so you would get more money.
No.
Jane Doe said in a court filing, "I felt intimidated and terrified at being confronted by these two individuals on my doorstep, and that they knew my name and home address despite me being anonymous."
Was she coerced in any way?
Of course not. They did not coerce her, promise or threaten her in any way, shape, or form. She voluntarily met and spoke to them, and she told them her truth, which was, under no circumstances did Mr. Carter do this. And number two, the only reason he's even involved in this is she was pushed to introduce him by a lawyer.
Despite dropping her suit and what she allegedly told the private investigators, Jay-Z's accuser is standing by her claims.
Tony, I was terrified the entire time that they were talking to me, but I know I didn't say that he didn't touch me, and I know I didn't say that you told me to say anything.
Jane Doe says very clearly there is no way that these specific words came out of her mouth in any way, shape, or form. But we know, at least from the audio recording, she wasn't telling Tony Busby the entire truth, which kind of leaves us in the same place as before as to who's telling the truth and who's telling a lie.
According to her complaint filed in December, at a VMA after-party, the 13-year-old Jane Doe claims she accepted a drink and began to feel woozy and lightheaded and entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down. Moments later, the lawsuit alleged Combs, Carter, and an unnamed female celebrity enter, all of whom Jane Doe says she recognized. In the lawsuit, Jane Doe then alleges Combs and Carter took turns raping her as she lay on the bed disoriented, all while Celebrity B watched. She claims she was only able to escape after hitting Diddy and running out of the bedroom.
Does your client know Jane Doe?
No.
Ever met her?
No, Mr. Carter doesn't know Jane Doe, never met Jane Doe. There's no truth to any of this.
Combs was arrested in September on a slew of federal charges involving other accusers.
Sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, interstate transportation for prostitution.
He is currently being held in New York City at the Metropolitan Detention Center, awaiting trial. Combs has pleaded not guilty. There are also at least a dozen civil lawsuits filed against Combs by accusers represented by Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby. All of them allege Combs sexually abused dozens of victims over 2 decades.
What shocked me most was that it was going on openly in front of other people that you would know who didn't do anything to stop it.
In a statement, Sean Combs' legal team called the lawsuits against their client shameless publicity stunts, and that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. The rapper known as Diddy flaunted a larger-than-life bad boy persona since his beginnings as a hip-hop producer in the early 1990s.
You name it, I could claim it, young, black, and famous.
And in hits like Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
I call all the shots, rip all the spots, rock all the rocks.
And Mo Money, Mo Problems. Diddy founding Bad Boy Records in 1993, launching the careers of rapper Mace, and most famously, Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Diddy, also known in celebrity circles for throwing lavish parties, and part of that lifestyle is now at the center of the case against him. Prosecutors are accusing Diddy of so-called freak-offs, elaborate sex performances, where Combs allegedly coerced, drugged, and kidnapped victims into sexual activity and hired prostitutes to join.
Sean Combs is still facing a number of civil lawsuits, but is also expected back in the Southern District of New York to plead not guilty to a superseding indictment, an indictment that adds more facts to that racketeering conspiracy allegation, including forced labor, arson, and kidnapping, that there was a criminal enterprise that fed into these alleged freak-offs.
While Sean Combs sits in a jail cell in Brooklyn,
The Grammy goes to Cowboy Carter.
Sean Carter, a.k.a. Jay-Z, was with his wife and daughter Blue Ivy at the Grammys as Beyoncé accepted the award for Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter. Jay-Z is now suing Jane Doe and her lawyer for defamation, saying they, quote, were soullessly motivated by greed, in abject disregard of the truth and the most fundamental precepts of human decency.
Why not let it lie? The case is gone.
The truth had to fully come out. This person cannot be allowed to sort of hide from the reality that this was a false accusation.
Our thanks to Aaron. We will, of course, continue to follow the story as it develops. When we come back, it was the beer ad heard round the world that almost took her down. How popular influencer Dylan Mulvaney says she survived the firestorm and found a scary level of happiness. Welcome back. It's been almost 2 years since Dylan Mulvaney accidentally found herself in the middle of an intensely divisive political firestorm. Her road back has been just the opposite, full of gratitude and purpose. She sat down with Nightline's Ashin Singh.
Dylan Mulvaney, welcome to Nightline.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on everything. Before we jump into the book, I want to talk a little bit about Days of Girlhood, because it feels like that's where most people found out about you and your journey documenting yourself as a trans woman. Let's take a quick look at a clip.
Okay. Day one of being a girl, and I have already cried 3 times. I wrote a scathing email that I did not send. I ordered dresses online that I couldn't afford.
Dylan, what's it like watching that for you?
Oh, I cringed so hard because I think I had so much to learn, and also I think videos can be taken so out of context on the internet, and that's why I wanted to write a book. But I think I see someone who so desperately wanted to connect with others, especially other women. Hair party! And so I do have a soft spot for her, but I'm really glad to be where I'm at now.
And it's been 3 years now. I mean, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
How has Dylan changed from day one?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I still think of myself as a very earnest person, but I think I've faced a lot of realities, especially of what it means to be trans in America today. And I'm the most privileged version of transness. You know, most of the community is having to face hardships that I haven't had to, but I think in my own way, I've had to overcome certain relationships with the conservative press and media that have been quite the gymnastics to get through.
Yeah, we're going to dive right into that, but you've got your new book out. It's Paper Doll, Notes from a Late Bloomer. Let me ask you first about the title, because I feel like it gives a hint into all that you've been through.
Sure.
Why Paper Doll?
Well, I think we're going to do a little trans vocab on Nightline tonight. And doll is a term of endearment for other trans women. But it really, on a deeper level, shows that the world sees me as a 2-dimensional thing that likes to put things onto me and project their ideas onto me and my transition, whereas I'm actually a 3-dimensional person who has feelings and is really just trying my best to get by.
You detail your transition, your rise to the spotlight, and navigating that spotlight, all during a time where it feels like trans people are under fire more than ever. Why speak up now?
Well, you know, I wrote this book starting 3 years ago. The first chapter is day one. It follows different timeline of going between that first year and then after Beergate, I like to call it. But I did not know what administration we were going to be in. I didn't know what the landscape of 2025 was going to look like. And I think now more than ever, we need trans joy to combat all of the hate and transphobia that exists.
Yeah, you famously came under fire back in 2023 for partnering with a beer company and sharing a social media post.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us.
In your own words, what happened there? And what was it like being caught in that backlash?
I mean, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And I think what's really scary is when you start to hear your own name and you don't know who they're talking about. And often being seen as someone who's so outgoing and, you know, confident and optimistic, but I was hurting so much inside and I didn't know how to tell people. I think now I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, even amongst the darkness that is this year for trans people.
For anybody who's going through a firestorm like the one you've been through, What do you wish you had told yourself during that time?
I would say that you know yourself better than anyone else does, and the things that they're saying about you aren't true, and you need to be looking to the people that you love, and I need to trust that those women and those humans in my life know me better than anyone online ever could.
What was it like finding that light in the tunnel? Are you happy now?
Oh, I'm so happy. And it's scary to even say that, but I do think letting the world know that after such a kind of crazy time period when I felt so alone, to now be able to say I feel great, it just goes to show that those people, what they're saying about me isn't true. Because trans people deserve to be happy, they deserve love, we deserve to be in the media in positive ways. So thank you for having me on tonight.
I love that. Dylan, on top of everything, not just a new book, I heard you got a new podcast
I've got a podcast, The Dylan Hour.
With a whole A-list
We got a
guest list.
lot of great people. But that's what's crazy about also kind of going viral. It opened me up to meeting all these amazing celebrities that I always loved.
I'm having a pajama party at Kathy Hilton's.
Yay! You can achieve anything that life throws your way.
And now I get to call friends. We sit down in a cute sort of 1960s set with cocktails, and we just sip and spill.
Towards the end of your book, you actually have a really interesting quote that I want to read to you. I want to make sure I want to get this right. I'm trying this new thing where I keep certain things to myself, little yummy womanly moments just for me. What did you mean by that?
Oh, there are things now that I do keep to myself. And I had this amazing moment with Laverne Cox at the Grammys a few years ago.
It's insane that you're like documenting so much of your life. And make sure you keep things for yourself. Everything cannot be for the public. They love it. Yes, they love it, but everything cannot be for them.
Because I think my transition started to feel like a Black Mirror episode where, everyone was putting in their opinions, but I needed to remember what it is that I wanted from the start. And now I think I'm there, and now I don't share until I've processed and I'm ready, and I feel really good about that.
Dylan, you're amazing.
Thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for joining us.
This was fun.
So fun, so fun. Really appreciate it.
Our thanks to Ashen. You can find Dylan's new memoir, Paper Doll, Notes from a Late Bloomer, out now. And when we come back, penguin after penguin popping off the cliff. We'll let you in on the secret. And finally tonight, if all your penguin friends jumped off a cliff, would you do it too? Nat Geo teasing their three-part Secrets of the Penguins, taking viewers all over the world to witness bird behaviors never before seen on film, like the mysterious penguin plunge, where juveniles leap off sometimes massive cliffs into the frigid water below. Why? Lunch. It lives in the ocean. Narrated by Blake Lively, the series showcases the cute and fluffy flightless fowls as they brave some of the Earth's most extreme environments. You can take the plunge. Secrets of the Penguins premieres April 21st on Disney Plus and Hulu. That's Nightline for tonight. You can watch all of our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.